We continue with our big stories on the AM show. Welcome back. And the question is the government's fight against Galamsey on course? Arusha, Ghana has raised concerns about the government's excuses, which it says offers no hope for a lasting solution. Let's get into the issues with Daryl Bosu. He's Deputy National Director of Arusha, Ghana. Daryl, good morning.
Good morning to you, Benjamin. I believe you are great.
I am well. I hope you are too.
Very well, yes.
It's good having you join the conversation. I heard you speak yesterday. Just walk us through why you are so exasperated as of this point in the manner, the way this government is attempting to fight Galamsey. What are your concerns?
Thank you very much, Bernard, and good morning to listeners as well. I think we've all been following what this government has been doing since they took office on January 7th. A lot has been said about the fight against Galamsey, what they are going to do. But I think we are starting to worry because they seem to be repeating a lot of the mistakes of the past. And one of them is the fact that, look, we talked about the need to ensure when we are enforcing the law with people who are in the field engaging Galamsey, we are going to be very consistent with their approach to ensure that whoever we clear from a particular area, we don't sit and watch for them to return to these areas. But already we are seeing that they are practically playing a cat-and-mouse game with the government, particularly in terms of activities pertaining to forest reserves. And then we are also seeing government repeat the same mistakes of the previous administration in the way and manner they handled Asha 1 and the recent policy directive to deport foreigners who are caught in Galamsey and all of that. I think that is where we also seem to have a very serious concern because we realize that a lot of the people who are in the pit, who are doing this mining, these guys are no longer adhering to the laws of the land. They become, insulated against all voices of reason. And even the ministry has called them dangerous terrorists. So I believe that if we are then calling these people terrorists, then we need to also step up our game and escalate the way we deal with them. These are not people we leave to go off without facing the full rigors of the law. So it's quite disappointing. And if you hear the reasons why they have to take this policy directive, I think it's one excuse that will not wash, and the fact that there are a lot of Ghanaians as well. And the sad thing is that when you listen to what they are saying, I don't think they are talking about all foreigners. I think there's more about they giving the Chinese nationals more.
Daryl, I'm losing you slightly. Daryl, I'm losing you slightly. Speak up and maybe stay in one position if you're on the move.
Okay, I'm actually at a very stationary position now. So,
okay.
Is it okay?
It's better. It's better. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I was saying that the directive to allow foreigners to go off the hook without really prosecuting them is totally against the minerals and mining law. And we don't see why the government, if we are talking about a deterrent measure to make sure that these people see that we are serious with dealing with Galamsey, there is no way the government should allow anybody to go. We see some preferential treatment being planned or being executed to favor the Chinese, and they are the people I always see who are going to necessarily be left off the hook. But if you go to the ground, there are the Togolese, the Malians, the Burkinabes, also in the pits and all of that. But these people we know are being arrested and being incarcerated as a need baby. So we think that the government is very serious. This is not the time to treat any group or any perpetrator with any kid gloves, and nobody should be given any favorite treatment. We need to ensure that the law is implemented to the letter without fear of favor and no favoritism to anyone. And if we don't do that and we keep giving excuses why particular groups should be left off the hook, it's going to continue and it's really going to derail every effort to address Galamsey as we have all decided to reset the system.
Now, let's look at the Minerals and Mining Act. We've taken a look at it and we've seen that indeed there are prescriptions for anyone who is caught in such illegality. First, detention, a jail term if proven, and then deportation. In the past, has this been the case as you know it? And when I talk of the past, I talk of the immediate past. Let's use the last 4 years, for example. What has happened?
No, so I think, Benjamin, clearly, if you listen to statements made by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, he did indicate that in his previous administration as president of the country between just before 2016 ended, he did repatriate a lot of foreigners for engaging in illegal activity. It did not stop the problem. Now we also see that the previous administration as well, former president and those administration also did repatriate some foreigners for engaging in illegal activity. And a much common case we all know is the Ashawan case. It has not stopped the influx of these Chinese from coming to the country. So it means that something is not working. That approach is not working. We need to use a more deterrent measure, and incarceration, as the law stipulates, should be the only way we should go. So I think the examples have shown that any time we have deported people, It didn't stop them from coming back. And so for me, I don't see why we want to go back to these same old age strategies that didn't work. We need to really show a firm approach without any compromising anybody's stance or without compromising the existing law, and allow the full resource of the law to deal with anybody who is caught engaging in Galamsey as the law stipulates. If we don't do that, we're actually going to frustrate everybody who is currently very actively trying to push in effort to ensure that we deal with Galamsey.
Right. And I'm with you on this page because I feel if we're going to stamp out Galamsey, we should go by the letter of the act. And yes, the fear factor in law is also important in enforcing law. But the reason I was asking you, part of it is what has happened in the past and whether this shift on the international level, because I've heard different things. I found it curious when I heard the Deputy Minister for the Interior talk about the fact that we should also consider that our prisons are choked. And if we have these numbers of people doing this in the country, what would it mean for our prison system? On the other hand, you would say, so if our prisons are choked because of that, what do we do? Do we just let them go, basically give them a pat on the back? You've come to destroy our country, go scot-free. The other bit I've heard in certain quarters is that we have certain bilateral relations. And you're right, the Chinese are some of those that we see in their numbers. If you look at the numbers here in Ghana, engaging in these activities. And the talk is that owing to our special relationship with China, our biggest trading partner, it's a bit tricky for us. How do you look at it from these two angles?
No, so Benjamin, I think this is actually what makes it scary. This kind of excuses. These people are on our land, destroying our present life in our future. Things they are doing in this country, they will never be doing in their own country. These are people you give any consideration to because they are trade partners. The fact that they are trade partners, they should wring our neck off and then we all die. I think it doesn't make sense. So if we are going to justify certain actions by the fact that people are doing relations and all of that, then it's not really going to help us. I recall very well the cause by giving the current government when they were in opposition, when the previous administration also did the similar things. And with the case of Ashawan, recall Osafo, former minister, giving statements about the fact that, we have relations with China, and so jailing Ashawan won't bring us anything. It's the same thing. And this is the excuse I'm afraid of. So I think that we do that. Are you saying that the Chinese are much more of West than Ghanaians? What about all the Ghanaians who are found in our jails? And I'm telling you.
And while, by the way, if we were to catch the Ghanaian, we would, and likely sometimes the Malian or the Burkinabe, we would throw them in jail. So why is it different?
Exactly. Yeah. And also, what you just saying that our prisons are choked, then do the right thing. Decongest the prisons and do the right thing. Make sure that people who need to be in jail are in jail. as we are speaking, if somebody is caught right now stealing plantain, the person will be incarcerated without we thinking about the fact that our prisons are choked. So I think that excuse is very scary. And I think it's something they're just throwing out there for the public to keep silent and to kind of agree to what they're deciding to do. And that's why we think that if the government is starting to give some of these excuses, the flimsy excuses, then we really need to be very careful how we are going to deal with this Galamsey. And I think it's also what I'm really starting to ask, how they're even handling the way they are also taking on some of the miners who are in the forest reserve, talking about how they are armed, how they know how to go about things and all that. Where is our intelligence? So we have intelligence agencies in this country. I don't see them being deployed for the full benefit of the Galamsey fight. So I think that we really need to sit up and step up our game. If we keep on giving these excuses as we are doing now, I'm afraid we are not really going to get a head start with this Galamsey fight.
Right. I would like you to touch on LI 2462 to reiterate your point and then to map out for us what you think ought to be done in the coming days, the coming weeks, the coming months. Let's give ourselves the next quarter. What must we get done so that we start seeing some real change?
Yeah, so I think if you all recall, when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was swearing in the current Minister for Lands, Honorable Emmanuel Mabua, he did indicate that they are going to have a policy of banning any new mining leases in forest reserves and revoking all mining leases given also for the same purpose. And this is also against the background that before they took office, they committed to revoking LI 2462. As you all know, the government has gone ahead thinking that just amending a section of the regulation is going to solve the problem or the mischief we've been complaining about. But unfortunately, we have seen that this LI, if it is amended in its current status, the mischief of miners happening in our forest reserves is not going to stop. And the amendment is only going to guarantee security for just 30 forest reserves in this country. I guess we are all now aware that Ghana has got about 288 forest reserves, and the 30 is just about 10%. But if we look at revoking the entire LI and allow a new legislative framework to kick in, that is going to allow for more progressive and sustainable management of our forest reserves. And that's why we are saying, let's revoke this LI and then work towards a more progressive legislative instrument or an act that is going to ensure that our forest reserves are sustainably managed to bring benefit to future generations. You are aware,
Daryl, and I'm saying you are aware that in some of these forest reserves, it's not just illegal mining. You have legitimate mining entities. I don't want to mention brand names, but you know that the big mining entities, some of them have already set up shop legally in these forest reserves, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, we are aware, but there's always...
Because that is another point that is made sometimes about how to deal with how tricky it is.
That is also another excuse that is also very worrying for us, because there's always a legal solution to some of these things. And it can be done. Just as some mining leases were reviewed after those given after December 7th, the same way we can review some of these concessions, because we also know that a lot of these mining concessions in forest reserves, as we all are aware of, were given out on some very strange circumstances, irregularities, and procedural inconsistencies, because they were given to people connected to the government in power then and politically exposed persons. So all of those are already questionable. So we need to look at them. And this is not something that the legal narratives or provisions cannot resolve. It can easily be resolved. So that is, for me, not the problem. The problem is looking forward into the long term, how we can put in place a more progressive, sustainable forest management legislative framework that will ensure that no matter what happens, our forest reserves are going to benefit from some protection by the state, rather than opening it all up for mining activity. And we know that with the current amendment process ongoing, thankfully, we have Parliament on rest, and when they resume, the process continues. Civil society, we have also kind of stepped up our game with a petition online There'll be a petition on the street very soon. And we're actually asking everybody to join, sign the petition. And we are also going to be on the street. The President, His Excellency, promised to repeal LI 2462. The fact that he's not doing it shows that there is some political interest in this, and we need to let him understand that, look, it is the citizens' demand that we revoke LI 2462, and not something rather to and make sure that the politicians are rather happy at the expense of citizens. So I think this is something we need to keep appealing, and the petition is out there. We're encouraging everybody to sign, and please also join us. If the president also remains at the mark, we hit the street. Please join us, and let's send a strong message that we need to protect our forests, not only for today, but also for tomorrow.
Daryl, we're grateful for your time. Thank you for engaging us on this matter, and thanks for the work you do. Daryl Bosu is Deputy National Director at Arosha, Ghana. But let me just share this with you. Are you ready to dream, dare, and deliver in the world of IT? Well, look no further than the Jackson Institute of Technology, the only NIIT authorized training center in Ghana. At JIT, we provide world-class IT training for individuals and corporate organizations, equipping you with industry-relevant skills in software development, cybersecurity, networking, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, digital marketing, and a lot more. And we also offer globally recognized certifications, practical job-ready training, and flexible hybrid learning options, which allows you to study online or on-site. Now, our expert instructors ensure hands-on learning experiences that prepare you for success in today's digital world. It's conveniently located on the Ring Road near Circle in the heart of Accra's Central Business District, and in Kumasi at the Jackson Educational Complex HQ, Ayeduase, near the KNUST. Now, JIT provides easy access for students and corporate clients as well. Our state-of-the-art auditorium is available for corporate events, seminars, and training sessions. So all you have to do now, pick up your phone, call or WhatsApp these numbers, 0596 996 037 or 0596 996 038 or 0552 714 635. You can visit the website www.jit.edu.gh. JIT, your gateway to a thriving IT career. Do stick and stay. We'll be right back.